Good morning. Well, that's such a bad habit. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope y'all having a wonderful day so far. Gosh, no, dude. Tempted just to restart that. That is embarrassing. Alright, whatever. If you don't know how these videos go, my name is William Adams. This video comes in 5 segments. This segment, right, where I talk about whatever and explain the segments. And, gosh knows I'm all over the place today. It's literally 6:35 while I'm recording this right now. PM. I read the Bible, read a little bit of the Bible. I read my quotes, read a few pages of quotes that I've written down from Wes Watson and John Mark Stevenson, and some sentences that I feel like I need to write down from TJ Yar's boot camp. I read my trading notes, about 3 to 5, and then I also, after that, I talk about whatever I want. Gosh knows. Here we go. Into the first segment. Alright, I'm in Proverbs. Avoid adultery. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for a precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom? Can his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth into his neighbour's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief, if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry, but if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonour shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. To be honest, I just read it as literally fast as I possibly can, and one person did tell me that I should pray about it, so I can have better understanding before I read it. But all that I really get from it is that I should follow the commandments of life, and don't give in to lust. And I should be a one-woman man. That's all I get from it, really. But tomorrow I will pray a good amount before I read it, and I will ask God for understanding before I read it. Alright, on to the next clip. Alright. I'm not going to read all 3 to 5 pages of quotes that I have. I'm just going to read my newest quote page. So, here we go. And I might also spit out some ones that just come to mind. Comfort is the enemy of progress. For every negative situation, there's a positive one. Action elevates anxiety. Life is a mirror, not a window. If you ain't proud of you, how is anyone else going to be proud of you? In order to be respected, you must respect yourself first. I want to go deeper into for every negative situation, there's a positive one. Bro, every single day, there's so much negativity that enters my mind and is surrounded by me. And it's so easy to just give in to the negativity and say something negative back. But you just have to realize that what you're facing against, I always say to myself every time I'm facing against something that I don't like or I don't really understand, and just negativity in general, I always say to myself, it's happening for you, it's not happening to you. And with that mindset, it automatically opens up different pathways in your brain where and it just makes you learn. It forces you to learn. Where it's like, how is this happening for me instead of to me? So for me, when people approach me with negativity, I just automatically think it's like, I am the better person. I am the bigger person. I learn from the negativity and I practice being simply positive back. And I try to consume their negativity with my positivity. But for me, I don't even think I've gotten that far yet. It's just straight up, I don't want to freak out, and I don't want to bring negativity. I don't want two people's negativity to collide. So I'd rather just leave their negativity and just have mine completely neutral. But it's just a learning process. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Alright, quotes, very simple today. Now on to the trading segment. Alright, this first page is it's talking about inverse fair value gap, which is something I completely forgot about, to be completely honest with you. An inverse fair value gap, for what I can give you so far, is just two fair value gaps that are in previous market structure, and they're basically doubled up. So there's two of them, but they're both in the same area, if that makes sense. There are bearish and bullish fair value gaps. When price closes above a bearish fair value gap, it invalidates the fair value gap. When price closes below a bullish fair value gap, it invalidates it. It invalidates the fair value gap. So if you don't know, a bullish means that it's going up. Bearish means it's going down. You can use inverse fair value gaps as a confluence. So we have multiple confluences. We first look for a liquidity sweep. We second look for a break of structure, and then we look for it was 4 tools, but now it is 5 since we've added on to our inverse fair value gap. So inverse fair value gap, equilibrium, order block, breaker block. So now we have 5 tools that we can look for after our liquidity sweep and break of structure. We always look for the liquidity sweep first, then a break structure, then we can find our five other confluences. You can only enter off of a inverse fair value gap if you get a trend shift / break of structure. You can only enter off a inverse fair value gap if you get a trend shift / break of structure. That basically just means after a liquidity sweep and a break of structure, which is just like any other confluence. Price must close above or below the fair value gap in order for it to be considered a inverse fair value gap. Price must close above or below the fair value gap in order for it to be considered a inverse fair value gap. Oh, okay. So originally, if there's a fair value gap and then that fair value gap gets invalidated, price will then eventually close above it. If it's a bullish fair value gap, price will close above it and then completely invalidate it, and then price will come back down, creating another fair value gap after it passes back through it. Price will then go back up, and then you'll have that other fair value gap here, and then you'll also have the original fair value gap here. So in this section, there's 2 fair value gaps. So this is what the inverse fair value gap is, essentially, is the section where 2 fair value gaps are in alignment with each other, essentially. Always check all time frames to see best confluences to take profit at. So essentially what this means is whenever you place your take profits, um, whenever you enter a trade, you're going to be, whenever prices move it up into your to your direction, where price is giving you money essentially, or your money is increasing, you then want to put your take profits before confluences. So the whole reason why we have confluences is so we understand that price, whenever price enters our confluences, that is an area where it has the potential for orders to be getting filled. So if it's going to cause a reaction or a potential reaction to change market structure, we want to put our take profit before these confluences. And originally our confluences are well, we won't be able to base a break of structure off of our take profit, but we could use a liquidity sweep, equilibrium, order block, breaker block, fair value gap, and inverse fair value gap as well. How to trade PM session. So what a session means is there's multiple, but this is all that I'm going to talk about is New York session, which really starts at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's the only time that you really want to be trading if you're trading New York session. But the most volatile time in that session is from really 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. No, 12 p.m. And so there's a certain time that a majority of the liquidity sweeps happen, which are around about 9:50 a.m. to 10:10 a.m. So I do not take a trade before 9:50 a.m., 9:45 a.m. I do not take a trade. I continuously look for a liquidity sweep on a high time frame. So that is 4-hour time frame and a 1 hour time frame. So so a PM session is New York session, right? But it's happening at 1:50 to 2:10 p.m. So 1:50 p.m. to 2:10 p.m. That's what time the PM session is happening. And to be honest with you, I don't understand why the market will get volatile again in this area or this time of day. I have no clue, but I just know that I look for liquidity sweeps around this time, and I look for liquidity sweeps at 9:50 to 10:10 a.m. So how to trade PM sessions. Scaling, you scale to a lower time frame. You use the 15-minute time frame as the 4-hour time frame if you were trading earlier in session or the AM session, and you use the 15-minute time frame as a time frame to find the trend, the overall trend. So if it's bullish, if the 15-minute trend is bullish, it's breaking highs, we are looking for lows to get swept, right? Put more money into the market, grab liquidity, and then end up going back into the overall trend. And if price is bearish, we're looking for highs to get swept and then continue going into the direction of the trend. And then we use the 5-minute as the 1-hour time frame, which is if the 1 hour, if you're trading AM session and the 1 hour is in alignment, which has the exact same trend as the 4-hour time frame, you can scale down to the 1-minute time frame, for example. But if you're trading, if the 1-hour time frame is not in alignment with the 4-hour, you do not scale down to the 1-minute time frame because it just automatically increases higher risk. So you want to have a higher probability trade. You want to have a higher probability trade. So you only scale down to the 5 minutes to execute if the 1 hour and 4 hour are not in alignment. So it's the exact same thing with the 15-minute. You treat the 15-minute as the 4 hour, and you treat the 5-minute as the 1 hour when you are trading PM session. So you can find your confluences on the 15-minute and the 5-minute time frame. PM session is slow. AM session, which is 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., so not 8 a.m. to 12 a.m., it's just 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., is fast. If you can't find liquidity sweeps on the 15-minute time frame, you can look on the 5-minute time frame for liquidity sweeps. After any break of structures, wait for price to fill into a confluence. Steps to trade PM session. First, these are 4 steps. First, identify the 15-minute trend. 2, look for the liquidity sweep. Look for the lower time frame liquidity sweep, which is the 5-minute and the 15-minute. Third, find your third confluence, which is within the 5-minute and the 15-minute. In the third confluence, for example, now we have our inverse fair value gap, equilibrium, breaker block, order block. And once again, I'll go ahead and mention this again. The best times to trade, your AM session and your PM session. So for AM, it would be 9:50 a.m. to 10:10 a.m. This is when price can have a liquidity sweep, and you can also get an entry during this time. Never execute a trade before 9:50 a.m. For PM, you want to be trading it whenever you're on TradingView. I know TradingView for sure. It'll say military time, so you would want to be trading at 13:50, which PM, which is 1:50 p.m., and then 14:10 p.m., which is 2:10 p.m. That is all for today. I'm starting to run out of trading notes. I literally only have one. That's not even a. I'm done. That's it. That's completely it. Wow. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I explained something wrong. But I'm not even going to confront myself about that. We're just going to go on to the next clip. I did explain something wrong in that video, but it is okay because I don't even use inverse fair value gaps or the other confluence, so it's completely okay. Alright, on to the next clip. Alright, I did not wake up at 6:17 this morning. I was up, but I was still in a negative state. I was still negative. I still was not out of bed. I still had not gotten out of bed. My alarm clock was set across the room, like it usually is, and then usually I go turn it off and then I go to sleep. No, I turn it off and then I stay up and I don't lay back in my bed. And I go take a cold shower, go get me some coffee, etc. I wake myself up, and I've done really good with that. Every time that happens, I do a great job. I stay up, but this time is a little different. Recently I've been sleeping with my door open, and I don't get out of my bed immediately whenever my alarm clock starts going off. So I'll be laying in bed, and my alarm clock was going off for maybe, I've got no clue how long it was. My perception of time was so off. But anyways, it was going off, and I was laying in bed, and I knew I had to get up, but I was kind of like going in and out of sleep, but I knew it was going off. But I'm not an absolute robot. I don't get up as soon as it starts going off. But I heard it. I was laying in bed. My door was open, and my family's up at around by that time, and they have alarm clocks going off as well. I literally hear 2 of their alarm clocks going off at the exact same time mine is. But my dad comes in here. I guess he was getting a little annoyed or something. I was still in bed. He knew I wasn't up. He comes in here and he turns my alarm clock off. He doesn't just hit the snooze button. He completely turns it off. And I'm still asleep, going in and out, and I just go to sleep. I'm asleep. I did not wake up this morning because of that. Is that not crazy? Like it's, but I always gotta have the mindset. It's happening for you, not to you. So the thing that I've mainly got from it was obviously go talk to him, tell him not to do that ever again, and to sleep with the door closed. Because if I had the door closed, he probably wouldn't have came in here and turned it off. Son, yeah. Please don't let negativity control your emotions. Alright, there's nothing really else for me to say besides I've got work to do. I've had a crazy workout today. I've done, what was it? I did like a 2.5 mile walk. I did 100 pull-ups today, which was definitely by far the hardest thing. I did 300. This is all in the sun, by the way. Shirtless. I did 300 sit-ups, 300 crunches, 250 push-ups, 250 squats, and I want to say that is all, unfortunately. That took me way too fast to say, or that was way too easy to say. Alright, last clip got cut off a little bit, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna spit whatever comes to my mind. The working still is worth in you. This might be a little bit shorter clip than I expected. Make sure to make your bed. Make your bed automatically in a higher frequency. Even if you don't take a cold shower or do push-ups or work out, just make your bed, man. Don't be lazy. It's so simple to do. It literally takes 10 seconds. Alright, I appreciate y'all. I will not miss on these days, man. I will not miss. I can't miss. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Have a beautiful day.